So, Sarah, we had an extremely short engagement. Now, we dated for like a pretty long time, but when we were ready to get married, we were like ready to get married.
Why wait?
Yeah, why wait at that point when we had already kind of waited long enough? But we got married in 12 weeks, and we had a budget of $3,000, and we did not eat in a front yard out of trash can lids. So how did we do it? I think our wedding was great. Like, I thought it was beautiful.
I loved our wedding, yeah. I mean, that's honestly, I think one of the things that helped with the cost was that I pretty much got everything I wanted, but I did it all myself.
And we got to get married at the location that Sarah always thought was just such a beautiful place growing up. We got married in like a...
It was at a mansion.
It was at a mansion in her neighborhood.
Yeah, in my neighborhood. That makes sense.
In her
so
neighborhood.
I grew up in a really normal neighborhood, but there was this just weird, just like random giant house with this incredibly gorgeous property. I think it's about 15 acres. Yeah. That used to own all the land, and they sold it, and then they had this giant house. And
so that's why there's like these neighborhoods around it.
It's like a mansion with a name and everything. So it's
Yeah.
like it's a very notable house, and I would drive past this house my whole life, and I always just admired the property so much because it's kind of like the perfect wooded scene where it's still got grass, but then it's got these big beautiful trees, and I always just really admired it. And they actually they sold the house and turned it into a wedding venue.
Yeah.
Really just months before we got engaged.
Which was a great setup for us because when we were ready to get married, we knew that the wedding venue was just getting started. So me, you, and it was my mom.
How we got the discount is a very funny story. So I think it was $5,000 to rent this place, if I remember correctly. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. But it was, I think, $1,500. If you got married, like if you used the facilities on a weekday or something like that. And so I was like, well, that's still a lot for me. And
they had just opened, literally just opened.
So I was trying to haggle with them a little bit. And so they like, well, let me get out my calendar. And so he pulls out the calendar, and it was like behind a little lip on this countertop. And so I don't think that he thought that I could see the calendar. And he's sitting there looking at this calendar thinking, and there was nothing on it. It was completely blank. And I was like, is he serious right now? And so that was the moment I knew we've got this in the bag. I ended up talking him down to $1,200, and that included all of the chairs and the tablecloths and the venue. So we got to use the outside for our ceremony, and they had what they call a carriage house, where we had our reception, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, so that was, number one thing off the list that we got for like a great price.
We had the place.
Yeah. The next thing was for Sarah was her dress.
What was I gonna wear?
What were you gonna wear? How much was this gonna cost? What did you do?
I actually don't know what this final cost of my dress was, but I made it myself, and I had actually been working on it for months because I knew we were going to get married. I just didn't know when. And I was like, well, if I want this to happen, then I should probably get started. Because I saw this dress on Pinterest, and it was like a dress that cost thousands of dollars. And I was like, that's the one I want. But I think it was like $20,000 or something.
$20,000?
I think so. It was like a designer.
Is that how much dresses are?
Dress. But that was like, that's the one I like. And so I was like, oh, I can make that. And so I did changes to it because there were certain things about the dress where I was like, well, even if I had the money to buy it, I'd still want these changes. And so making it myself was the like way I could make that happen. And so, guys, material is expensive.
Yeah.
So what I did was I bought 3 clearance dresses from Forever 21 with fabric that I wanted, and I just cut them apart and recreated them.
Which seems unreal to me. That doesn't even seem possible. I didn't even know that you were doing this.
Yeah, they were on the clearance rack for probably like $10 to $15 each or something like that, somewhere in that price range. And so that was actually a much cheaper way to get all the fabric that I needed.
So that was all of the material that was $45?
something like that.
Didn't you post the dress somewhere and a bunch of people were commenting on it or something like that?
I did. Yeah, my dress actually apparently was in a sewing magazine, but I never received a copy of it, so I can't confirm that.
I can't show you the pictures.
But I was interviewed and I sent pictures in. Wish I saw it, but apparently it's out there somewhere.
So that's crazy in and of itself. I mean, that she made her own wedding dress was amazing.
I love my dress so much. Like, even I thought it was getting close to the wedding, and I said, no, Jordan, the thing you need to know is my dress is not white. Because I really wanted a blush dress, and so it's blush, which is a very pale pink. And he was like, wait, what do you mean it's not white? And I freaked out. I was like...
Well, I like, guys, I don't know. You see weddings and everyone's always mostly wearing white. And so when she says it's not white, my reaction was, that's a thing? What? Like, what are you
I said, don't worry, it's still a bridal color. And he's like, what does that even mean?
So I was really unsure. Honestly, I didn't know what to think about it until I saw it, and I really liked it.
Yeah, so I wrestled with that idea because I thought, oh my goodness, what if I've made a horrible mistake? Like, this is my one chance to wear, like, a white wedding dress, and I chose blush. What was I thinking? But so I actually went wedding dress shopping just to make sure that I was happy with my decision. And it was fun. And out of all the dresses I tried on, there was like a blush one on display, and I was like, out of all of these, that's the one I like. So I think I should probably just go. And to this day, I have no regrets. I love it so much.
The other thing that we needed to spend money on was like sound, and somebody doing the sound for us. Well, we live in Nashville, so we kind of have the hookups with a friend that I grew up with, and I was like, dude, would you just do the sound for us? That would be like, he's one of my really, really great friends. Grew up going to church together, and he was like, oh, dude, yeah. So he brought all the stuff, just set it up. Was super nice about it.
Yeah, and it was great.
Tore down. Yeah. So, yeah, props out there to Josh for helping us out with that. That was incredible of you. And my brother Josh, who was not the same Josh as that Josh, but he emceed for us, so that was free as well.
Yeah.
Where's the other stuff? I mean, we spent money on food, obviously.
So the most expensive thing that we paid for was the food.
Yeah.
And it cost, I feel like it was like $1,500 to $1,600. But the food was so good.
The thing I remember the most about like our reception was that we had cotton candy from my dad's cotton candy machine maker that we had literally my entire life. We took it to like my birthday growing up, friends' birthdays. We were just the family that had the cotton candy machine maker. I don't know why we had it, where we got it, but we took a really good picture with the cotton candy. I love that.
Really fun. And then basically all the little details. So like flowers. The only flowers that I actually bought and paid for were my bouquet, because there were like specific flowers I wanted in my bouquet. But for everybody else, I got flowers off the clearance rack at our local grocery store. And then I also got up really early in the morning, and we cut magnolia blossoms.
Just off of a local tree, basically. And it would just happen to be in bloom at the perfect time.
Oh yeah, I was looking, watching those trees. I was like, okay, now how many days until that's gonna
morning of the wedding, she was out cutting blossoms at like 6 a.m.
For our decorations and our wedding favors, I wanted them to be kind of double duty. And then I thought, well, then people will take home our wedding decorations and they'll help clean up for us kind of while getting to take something home. So I planted seeds in little pots we got at the Dollar Tree. And so they were like herbs and little flowers, and it was really inexpensive. I think each pot was about 25 cents.
Yeah, I remember when we went and got those.
And then they got to take home like a nice little herb, and they also were our centerpieces for our tables with a structure. I don't know how to describe. You have to put a picture. Do we even have
one still?
I don't think so.
No, they're really pretty, and we spray painted them gold.
So basically, it's another Pinterest find that I really liked these cage type things, and so I was like, how can I do this? And I figured if I used drinking straws and floral wire and gold spray paint, I could recreate it. And as long as you didn't look too close, like pick it up, but just sitting on the table, they looked amazing.
Yeah.
I even had some people take those home as well. Because they liked them.
So people took those home, and then they took the potted plants home that were the centerpieces. We just said, oh yeah, you can take a potted plant.
It did take time, like making all of those straw structures was a little stressful, but they actually did look really beautiful, and
oh yeah, they just fit.
I liked them.
Everything. It just all the decorations just really fit us. I felt like just kind of
Yeah.
like our feel, even like just how our house is decorated, or just how our house feels. That's when I think back to the decorations, like, oh right,
That was
that-
really us.
yeah, that was like a precursor to what we like now.
And I actually got that comment from a friend, and she was like, your wedding was my favorite wedding of the year.
And I'm sure she
because-
doesn't say that to everybody.
No, but she said it was just so you. She's
Right.
like, it was just like really, really you. And so I was like, yeah, I guess it was. I mean, I made everything, so I guess it had to be.
Another thing that costs money is a photographer. Well, we got that for free as well because Sarah's dad is a photographer. So all this stuff just kind of worked out, guys. You know, I don't expect this for everybody, but
But then the final usual big cost were the cakes. So we had 3 cakes, 3 different flavors, 3 different styles.
and there were multi-tiered cakes
yes.
as well.
And I made them myself, which I definitely called Jordan in tears.
Oh yeah, the night before.
Sobbing and telling him we
forgot.
were not going to have cake.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that is the day I realized that our new oven in a house that we just bought was broken. And it did not
right.
cook
And you
the
had to
cake
take it to-
layers properly.
You had to take it to your parents' house.
Yes.
Right?
So I had to last minute pack up everything and run over and try to salvage the cakes. And they ended up being okay. I had to alter the design on one of them slightly because of how it worked. But
Right. But I mean,
we ended up with 3 cakes and they
Yeah.
were really delicious.
And so you got to think, that was basically free.
Disclaimer, I would actually not suggest for any brides in the future to make their own cake unless they really know what they're doing.
Sarah had a cake business.
I had a cake decorating
and this is what
business
she did. Like, she made cakes and she decorated them for weddings. Like, she had done this for a long time. That's what we did a lot of. You would make the cakes and then we would travel
And deliver
deliver them. And I mean, so that, I mean,
So I knew what I
Yeah.
was doing. I just had a little mishap, and yes, it was extremely stressful. But
and then the next morning you had to get the flowers off the trees. It was crazy,
I
guys,
did a
right?
lot myself, and so I think that's probably
Yeah.
like I loved how everything turned out, and we saved a lot of money. But if you're the type of person who wants to just be pampered on their wedding day, this isn't the way to do it.
No.
But I feel like even with all the
Mm-hmm.
work, I love how it turned out. I love that we didn't spend more than we did.
In 12 weeks, I mean, I feel like that's a good... People seem like that 12 weeks, that's not very long. But to me, it's like, I don't know, it's 3 months.
I
like, that's
honestly loved, that is probably my favorite thing, is
Yeah.
that we did not wait any longer. That was a long enough engagement, I felt like. It was just, I
Yeah.
heard from other friends, and they were like, wow, being engaged was so stressful. And I was like, really? I loved every minute of it. And I think it's because I didn't have time to overthink things for the wedding.
Right.
And you kind of just had to know what you want and make a decision and get it done. Because even though our engagement was 12 weeks, I really actually did all of the wedding planning in about a month. Because we also bought our house during that time. And so when we started the house buying process, I kind of just forgot about the wedding for a minute because I was just focused on the house.
Right.
And then it got to where it was like, oh, I'm getting married in like less than 4 weeks. I need to get on this.
I'm so shocked by how much people spend on weddings. I'm not criticizing people who do. I'm just, me personally, it's like, dang, that's people who do stuff themselves a lot, DIY, like, seeing people spend an exorbitant amount of money is just kind of shocking. Or just a normal amount of money, honestly.
Right. Well, I mean, that's also, I think, something is like the wedding was so us. And I truly believe that was because we did everything.
Right.
Because, like, literally it was us.
Anyways, yeah, a little encouragement. Doesn't have to be a super long engagement. Doesn't have to be $30 million. You can do it cheaply and shortly. All right, well, I guess that's it. We'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.